This is a 832 Juliet Sierra, just showing you what we're seeing. Here's the MFD. See, there's no data or anything else like that. So I've been playing with this aircraft for about an hour, so let's get that data back up there. So first thing we're going to do is on our FMS, we're going to set our position where we're at. We're in Jacksonville. So KJAX, enter, accept it, enter, enter, enter. Alright, and if you notice, now we have the aircraft show up on the display. We go to FMS2, it's not there. So let's go over here to FMS2. Let's go ahead and set our position. KJAX, enter, 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 enter. Okay, now the MFD, it's not on the same bus as the number 1 PFD and number 2 PFD. It's on a slower bus, so it takes a second. So, but now we have our aircraft there. So now let's set us a flight plan in here. Let's do on number 1 FMS. Let's do direct to, say, Atlanta. KATL. Enter, enter, enter. Alright. So now, as you can see, we're back on FMS 1. We get the KATL. We get our course line. It says it's 235 miles. So let's go ahead and increase our range here so we can go up to 235 miles. And there's our destination. So if we go to FMS 2, okay, give it a second because it takes a second for the FMS to update everything. But let's go ahead and set that same flight plan in there. Let's do a direct to. As you see while I'm doing it, FMS2 came back up, our airplane popped back up in there. Like I say, that's on a slower bus, not the same thing as the PFDs. So let's do direct to KATL, enter, Jacksonville, Hartsfield, enter, enter. Alright, now give it just a second. You see we have our KATL, now we have our course line and our destination. So it does take a second when you cycle between FMS 1 and 2 for it to display back up. But that is completely normal because that's the secondary data bus to the MFD. It's a little bit slower. And I can prove that to you that it's slower simply by doing this. Notice how also on the displays, wait, first I'm going to show you something else. They said that would disappear whenever the flight director was engaged. So let's go ahead and we're on FMS. We got us in heading mode. Hey, we can even engage the autopilot while we're doing it just to verify. So the flight director is working. It's trying to steer to the waypoint to Atlanta. Of course, our course line is still there. Our airport is still there. So we'll cycle it back to FMS 1. Give it a second. So it comes back. Remember, it's flying. When it's flying, it's not flying off the actual PFD. It's flying, or I'm sorry, the MFD. The actual autopilot gets this bus faster than what you can actually see it here. But to prove to you that this is on a slower bus, and you got to give it a few seconds before that information is available, versus the PFDs with the course pointer lines. Let me show you what happens if I go FMS off, right? Confirm off. If you notice up here on the PFD, our information automatically went away. It took a few seconds longer for it to hit the PFD. So look, so now if you see we have the FMS course liner point, FMS2 on the number 2. So if we go here, select FMS2, give it a second for it to come back up. Okay, so now on FMS2, see if I can do it where you can see it on both screens. But if I do FMS2 off, FMS2, confirm off. Okay, see if you notice it went away almost immediately over here. And over here you're still receiving information on the MFD. It just takes a little bit longer for it to update. It'll finally catch up with everything else and realize that the FMS is no longer on. It just takes a little bit. So if you was to press a button or something, it would update almost immediately, but just to let it sit there, it takes a few minutes. But I've been playing around with this thing. I don't see a problem with it. Seems like it's working exactly as it's supposed to. I've had it up for about an hour at least, and never did I see the lines disappear. So